Okay, so my response to what I found interesting regarding the play in question one is it attempts to answer the question of whether there can be space for the irrational within a well structured and ordered space, and it depicts a struggle to the death between the forces of restraint and freedom release. And in the text, it states that not only is there space, that Dionysus states that not only is there space within society for the irrational, such a space must be allowed for society to exist and thrive, or it will tear itself apart. And it demonstrates the necessity of self control, moderation, and wisdom in avoiding the two extremes, both the tyranny of excessive order and the murderous frenzy of collective passion. So, in other words, there has to be, the text is stating, Dionysus is stating, there has to be some form of chaos for society to function. Question two, regarding the values, the social order is interesting, and all the main characters command a different form of wisdom, but they all have their own set of limitations. For example, King Pentheus is a young and idealistic leader of the Theban society, but in general, he's kind of a misogynist towards the Maenads, and his rational civic and social order does not come to pass because he chastises the women and scolds them and treats them unjustly. And also, interesting is the vain, obstinate, suspicious, arrogant, ultimately hypocritical nature of Dionysus. Because he just lets his women followers roam around freely in the mountains, and does not exude proper control over them. It's a kind of a practice of a useful falsehood, and goes against the grain of his just values as a god. And question three is enigma. That's the word I found interesting. It's a person or thing that's difficult to understand, and it relates to the complexity of Dionysus as a character himself, that he's both foreigner and Greek, civilized and uncivilized, and is kind of inside and outside of the play's action. And he also kind of blurs the division between comedy and tragedy. It remains somewhat of a mystery, and he's a complex and difficult figure throughout the play. It's kind of hard to pin down and describe his nature. And then question four, in regards to the Maenads, they were the female followers of Dionysus, worshippers who were, like I said before, kind of chastised and treated unjustly by King Pentheus they were really treated unjustly and scolded in society in the text. Also, question five, Elvis is on the cover because he was rebellious. He has a rebellious nature, a lot like the attitudes of those under the reign of King Pentheus in Theban society, and like Dionysus himself, who I said was a complex character. And lastly, question six, two questions I find interesting that I'd love you guys to get input on is chaos necessary for society to function? And why must sexism exist throughout ancient history? Is there a way we can solve this problem? And why is it always depicted in these type of texts? That's what I found interesting. Why is that the case? And that's it. Thank you.